Arsenal travel away to the dreaded Bet365 Stadium this Sunday morning at 2:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time for their second Premier League fixture of the season. I would like to welcome you guys all to episode 4 of Gunners in Oz. We are here to preview Arsenal against Stoke City. I'm here with my regulars for a regular previewing cast. Troy and Roshan and Bradley is in and out. He's currently in his car and
he's having technical difficulties.
Yeah, he'll be back with us in just a few moments. All right, boys, how you guys doing? Troy?
Good, man. Nice, quiet week. Now I've recovered from last week's win. It's just okay.
Roshan, how about you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Weather is good here in Sydney, so nothing to worry about in terms of that front.
It's always good in Sydney, man. Like,
oh man,
we get the cold end here in Melbourne, right, Troy?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's freezing down here.
Man, I can still go out right now in shorts.
Oh man, I'm sitting here in a t-shirt because I've got the heater cranked up to like 50.
All right, boys. Bradley's back up.
Howdy.
Bradley, how are you?
Yeah, good. Good. Very good.
Okay, guys. Arsene Wenger gave his press conference yesterday. I want to start off by talking about this. The team news is that Per Mertesacker and Shkodran Mustafi are going to be back, so we're going to actually have defensive players in there. And Francis Coquelin, who I thought would be out a bit longer than this, is also back. So, guys, thoughts? Are you guys happy with the news?
Let's keep Mertesacker on the bench and just let Mustafi play, but then I'll be happy with that news.
Bradley, you just hate Mertesacker, eh?
Like,
People say games are FIFA, but Mertesacker, he's not no gazelle. So I'd rather have him on the bench. He played good. I give him credit. He played good for us in the cup final, but honestly, I think he needs. I hope he finishes the season like his career well, but I don't think 37 games of the season is going to do us any good.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think you're right, man. I think he's a pinch hitter defender. I think they're gonna use him for the games. Like, I think, to be honest with you, the reason he's in the squad this week is because Crouch is in there for Stoke.
Yeah,
I would agree.
Crouch is 2 meters tall, and let's face it, if he heads a goal, I will just lose my mind.
He did last year, didn't he?
If he heads a goal from a corner, I will do my nut.
Wait, I honestly will too. Don't you worry about that.
It's like, just grab him by the shirt. Like, he's the tallest bloke in the freaking stadium. They're gonna kick the ball to him.
We should get Yaya Sanogo to mark him.
Hey, bring him back for one game. Get Yaya Sanogo in there. So you guys, Alexis Sanchez will not be playing in this game, but Arsene Wenger has also confirmed that he will be available for our next fixture next week against Liverpool, which should be an exciting one as well, because I'm actually really excited to see AOL in action for the first time. For anybody who's wondering what AOL is, it's a American internet service, otherwise known as America Online, but in this case, it's actually Alexis, Ozil, and Lacazette.
Lacazette.
So I wanna start off. We're talking about Alexis Sanchez. While we're on the subject, he caused more of a stir because every single day there's something different with this guy. A few days ago, he posted a tweet. I think it was the day after the game. Actually, he posted a tweet. He's tweeting to his friend about. He's like, oh, you can play me at the Emirates Stadium or something along the lines. But his location was on, and it said Paris, France. Maybe I'll voice my opinion on this before I'll bring it on to you, because this is something I feel like a lot of people are very much overreacting about it. Number one, okay, because he's in Paris does not mean he's going to PSG. He actually is on a with his girlfriend, who's actually a model. She's shooting there. But the other damn thing is, it says Emirates Stadium. He's like, I'll play you at the Emirates Stadium, which insinuates that the Emirates Stadium is the stadium which he will be playing his football beyond 2 weeks from now. Am I not right?
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. I agree.
It's just much ado about nothing. There's nothing to report, so he's put Paris, France on there. And like I said, I listened to the AEST blog thing, podcast earlier in the week, and he made a really good point. He said, you know what? It's just, he's a professional and he's just made a mistake. He's in Paris, France, and then he's looked at it and gone, you know what? I should probably take that off because people are going to read into it. He deleted the tweet. He retweeted the same tweet without the location. But by that stage, the damage was done and everyone's conspiracy theories went nuts.
Yeah. Okay, so there's also a bit of... look, I don't know what to believe. Journalists... I mean, if you give me a penny for every journalist that wrote a story about Arsenal player leaving this summer, I'd probably be rich and, be flying on my private jet to the Emirates weekly. So apparently, Manchester City had a bid rejected of £45 million that was reported by Alexis's agent. Without a name, by the way, it wasn't actually named in the article. And now we're saying that a £60 million bid will be coming in from Man City before the end of the window. Do we believe this, or do Arsenal take the money? It's a better question to it.
I would say definitely not. Don't take the money. They can't. I mean, it's 60 million, right? I think Wenger said in his press conference something about, there's financial sense and there's football sense. It makes more football sense to keep him. You can't. You cannot go to City for 60 million.
Another thing, just to add on that, what I really like about the situation is two things. Firstly, I like how the club's actually sticking to their guns. That's good to see. I hope other teams, other clubs follow suit as well. But secondly, really respect the fact that Sanchez, and hopefully he doesn't, but I really respect that he hasn't gone down the continual route of asking for a transfer request.
Yeah. Totally agree with that.
Yeah, so really big respects for that. I mean, keeps the team together, makes it look like Wenger's in charge. So I really like that.
Yeah, well, they did ask Arsene about that, and he said the same thing. He says actually very happy that his players are actually very, they behave themselves well, and so I think. Speaking of another player who has got under a similar scenario, and there's more rumors, and that is our very beloved Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. £35 million Chelsea are going to bid for us again. Is this a bid?
If Everton paid $45 million for Gylfi Sigurdsson, who scores about 10 free kicks a season and only looks good because everyone else in that white shirt's a piece of shit, I don't understand how Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain can only be worth 35. Like, it's ridiculous.
It's because he's in the last year of his contract. I think if Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain wasn't in the last year of his contract, we're looking at 50, 60. So... But
do we want him to go?
I don't.
No.
I think look, thinking about it, he's not the type of signing that make Chelsea put them back in the title race or win in the Premier League. If anything, they already have the players enough to win the Premier League, considering that they're the defending champions. But I don't think that he's the type of player who changes things for them. He's a second option, so to speak, especially in a Chelsea team. I think his best shot at making the England team, I think, right now is playing for Arsenal. I think all of his best friends play for Arsenal. I was actually looking at Chelsea's list. They only have really Gary Cahill, and he's about 10 years older than the Ox. So, I don't think you see him having many friends at Chelsea. So,
nah. So
we say that. But when you think about it, like What's sad about that I'm thinking about is that we're sitting here thinking, yeah, like he wouldn't make that Chelsea team, but how come we're not up to that? Because Ox is a starter for us. He's a must starter, and he me going. We want to challenge.
He's dropped out.
No, he wouldn't make a Chelsea team. Well, if he wouldn't make a Chelsea team, how?
Brad, you
I
there?
think I've lost you.
Yeah, no, so I think you're a tiny bit.
I've heard the same point twice. What were you going to say about the Chelsea team? If he wasn't able to make the Chelsea team and he is in the Arsenal team?
I said it's a bit sad that we're sitting here saying that, yeah, he wouldn't make that Chelsea team. He'd be in the second. He'd be off the bench. But we sit there and think, yeah, I don't know what we'd do like without him because he's a good player, being in the first team. He's a first team player. Shouldn't we want to be on the level that Chelsea are on? Shouldn't we want to keep up to that standard?
I'll answer that question and tell you this. I'll say that he actually, if Arsenal have their best 11, Oxlade-Chamberlain struggles to make it into Arsenal's first 11. Because right now he's only making it in there as a wing back. So either he can play at left wing back, and we have say Kolasinac, or he plays at right wing back, where we have Bellerin. Right now, I would say he goes ahead of Bellerin based on form. So now he's an Arsenal starter. He doesn't play in the. He doesn't. I was actually answering Bradley's question. He's gone. But
That's all right. He's dropped out. That's all right.
He doesn't play. He thinks he plays central midfield, but he doesn't really play central midfield. And we have players who play. I mean, you could fit him maybe ahead of Aaron Ramsey, but as you saw on Saturday night, Aaron Ramsey is the best central midfielder we have healthy right now. So
yeah, I honestly don't think. I mean, I don't think they'll sell him. And again, I default to info I got through the Arsblog podcast. I think the issue is that they need to free up wages. So I don't think we don't need to sell big names. Yeah, they're going to trim up the squad, but they're going to trim those guys like Jenkinson, maybe Gibbs and all those guys and free up the wages. They don't necessarily need the transfers to, get that money in. They just need to I think they just need to free up wages for Ozil and Sanchez.
Yeah.
Long term. And in that case, why would you sell Ox? If you don't need the 35, don't. He could go on a free, but I mean, Jesus, it's not the worst thing. He goes on a free, All you're doing is trying to dangle the carrot to try and buy out a contract early. And they're signed a contract. We could still sign them. Just because they haven't signed doesn't mean they won't.
And then the big thing for me is the fact that a lot of Chelsea fans are complaining about the fact that Matic was sold to Manchester United, and that so if we give them Oxlade-Chamberlain in order to compensate for that, we're no better.
Yeah,
we're helping them out, and then we'll have our fans and our supporters. They will not let that die, right?
Nah.
So there's no way you sell a player to Chelsea Football Club.
No.
The only time we've ever sold a player to Chelsea Football Club was Ashley Cole, and he was stole from under our noses. He was tapped up.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the manager's decision or anything of the like. So you can't really be doing that.
I honestly think, in terms of man management with Wenger, I think this is probably a smart move because if we keep him till the end and they go, then the club and the management go, you know what? Hey, it was his choice. Yeah. We offered him, a fairly substantial wage. We offered him a new contract. We offered him a pay rise, but he chose to go somewhere else. What could we do?
Moving on now. It's a shame Bradley dropped out because I know he's a big fan of this player. But Jack Wilshere has been back in action with the under-23 squads, as was asked to Arsene about his long-term future and if he's going to be renewing. Brad's back.
Brad's on Wi-Fi. He's back.
He's at home too, right?
Never trust cellular data for this stuff.
No.
So we were talking about Jack Wilshere now.
Well, that's a touchy subject for me, that one.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was hoping you were here before. So he's back playing with the under-23s, and Arsene Wenger has told the media yesterday that he will be staying at Arsenal this season. And whether asked whether his contract is going to be dealt with, he said, "We'll have to see. We'll reassess that at the end of the season."
Yeah.
Is
It's a fair
this
call.
do or die now for Jack Wilshere?
Very. It's
Yep.
really. It's. Yeah. Is it all worth it, or is it best just to say goodbye? That's what it is for Jack this season. And it's sad, but it's true. And me, of all people, don't want to see him go. But if he can't perform this season, then it's probably going to have to be
Yeah.
stuck in another club.
Yeah, which would be really sad. I mean, I love him. Another player who we're talking about good luck in another club. Asked about Lucas Perez yesterday. Wenger says in quotes, "I have left the door open. We have enough strikers now at Arsenal. Lucas Perez, he said, I will do my best to help him find a solution." Guys, are you guys sad about this, or is it just something you've seen coming? Lucas Perez leaving Arsenal.
One side, but honestly, I was talking to when I was at the hotel waiting for Arsenal and stuff like that. I was talking to staff of Arsenal, and I asked them what's going on with Perez, because obviously he hasn't done anything wrong on the pitch, and he's done well. But he just said to me, it's his attitude, off the pitch, what everyone doesn't see at training. Apparently, he goes down and says that he's not fit to play on the weekend, and apparently he just hasn't helped himself at the club and has made excuses, silly excuses and stuff like that. And that's not I'm making it up, because that's someone at the club told me that. So
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, it's sad to see him go, because I really rated him. I really thought he was a good striker, and he was very clinical, with his finishing. That goal, I'm pretty sure it was against Bournemouth, in the bottom corner, the volley.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the 3-3. Or was it 3-2?
Yeah.
He made it 3-2 and then 3-3 later, but...
Yeah, no. I definitely do rate him, but it's unfortunate to see him go, but... He's going to be someone else's problem from now on.
The biggest thing that sticks out in my mind is the fact that a year ago today, he wasn't even an Arsenal player yet.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But
look, he was a last-minute buy, and it just hasn't panned out.
he really was. I mean, you get the sense that Arsene Wenger always wanted Alexander Lacazette the whole time. He tried to buy him last summer. So.
Yeah.
When he was told that he can't get him until the next year, basically, he was like, "Okay, I'll get a short-term replacement." That's why it was very issue to me that they bought Perez at the age of 28. He doesn't really buy players that late on in their careers, except for Petr Cech. But goalkeepers are extreme circumstances.
That's different, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, moving forward. So Mesut Ozil. There was no questions asked about Mesut Ozil. I mean, a lot of people want to know, when it seems to me, and Robin's been reporting it for weeks, that Ozil is staying at Arsenal and that there's a £225,000 a week off contract on the table for him. But we have not received no updates in it. Do you guys expect that to be announced before the end of the window? The journalists don't even talk about it, which is very weird. It goes under the radar.
Yeah.
It's strange. I mean, look, I think everyone's concentrating on Sanchez, and that takes the heat off Ozil.
Yeah, true.
I mean, it's remarkable the situation that the club has got themselves in. We have three players like that, all in the same scenario, and it seems to me like they've all taken different ways. So Oxlade-Chamberlain has said nothing. You've heard sort of what he wants and his feelings in the press, but you've never really heard it from the man's mouth. Ozil says when he's in Sydney at the kit launch, "Oh, I want to be playing for Arsenal. I love Arsenal." And then Alexis Sanchez, every time he gets he always talks about ambition and wanting to play in the Champions League, which we're obviously not in, so people will take that the wrong way. or tweeting things, from the locations of clubs he's linked with, and so on and so forth. Man, do you guys think that the situation is going to be fixed, that we're going to sign all three to a long-term contract, or one or two, or they all walk out for free next year?
I don't see Ozil walking out for free. I think I don't think he's walking out, because I don't think any other club's really gonna match his wages for what we're offering him with anyway. I really think that the Ox can be persuaded to stay. It's Sanchez that I'm worried about. I still think that there's a chance that he might go, regardless of the end result of the season.
Yeah. What about you, Troy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge Alexis fan. I love him. But I think, like I said, I've sort of gone into bat for him a bit to say, you know what, this is his last big contract. Do it properly. I've got no issue with that. But I've also got no issue that if he gets to the end of his contract and he walks away, it's like, you know what, you've done everything that you were supposed to do. You've not said that you haven't asked for a transfer. You've got to the end of your contract. You've got a better offer, and you've taken it. And, if that's what, I'll be devastated if he goes. But I also think that there's a chance that, you know what, to talk about every time with Arsenal in a transfer window, my theory is because we never talk, the media and a lot of the press just makes up the gap, because we don't discuss anything. If you look at the history of our transfers, we don't do anything. We don't say anything. We don't even hint at anything. We've got guys that'll come in for medicals, and we still sit there going, "Nah, don't know what you're talking about." You know what I mean? Other clubs, and that's what I think a lot of agents do now with Arsenal, is they shop Arsenal around to say for their players, because it bigs up their team. But I honestly think, I think we'll keep 2 out of the 3. I think Ozil will stay. I think he'll stay. I hope Sanchez stays. It was one of the 3 that I'm leaning towards. Probably won't. It'll be him, and that'll be his agent. I mean, Sanchez has said nothing, and nor should he. Just play football, and if you want someone to ask for money, get your manager to do it.
Good morning.
Yeah. Hey Bradley, what are your opinions? Do we keep all 3? Does one of them leave for free, which if they do? Is there a chance that Alexis Sanchez signs a contract?
I think there's always a chance, but I think it'll depend on how we start the year. I think it'll just depend on. I think if he's going to sign a contract, it's going to be before January 1st.
Do you reckon?
I think it'll depend how we go, because I don't think he'll leave it too late, and I don't think Ozil will leave it late either. They'll want to have their futures decided so they can focus on their football for the rest of the year. If he doesn't sign it by the end of the year, then I definitely think he'll be gone.
I mean, you're an interesting person to talk to, Brad, because you actually met Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain in Sydney, and basically actually around the time where people were saying that, he's refusing to sign a contract. Does he seem like a guy on his way out, or you really just couldn't tell?
Honestly, you really couldn't tell with him. He's a nice guy. He was really nice to us all, and he was really understanding. But, I mean, he came out onto the balcony one day and started talking to us, just talking, and then someone said, "Don't go to Liverpool," and he literally just turned around and walked back in his room. Which is understandable, because you don't want that crap. You're hearing all that. You're here for pre-season, focus on pre-season, and people are harassing him about it. Fair enough to chant at the stadium saying you want him to stay, but you don't need to harass him like that.
Yeah.
It's his decision, regardless. It's his mind. He's going to make up.
Yeah. All right. A few more points before we actually talk about some football. So Callum Chambers, as we discussed last week on our post-match of the Leicester game, was at the stadium in a suit. We're basically assuming he's gone. Again, another question that was not asked to Arsene. I mean, one that I would have asked Arsene, is Callum Chambers, why is he doing in a suit? Why is he not playing? We have no center backs. It doesn't make sense to me. I think in my opinion, a lot of these journalists, I sit there and I judge them when I listen to them, because I'm like, if I was in a room with Arsene Wenger, I would ask him this question. How could you not ask that question? I was so confused as to why Callum Chambers was not playing if he's not on his way out.
Yeah.
So
I understand. And Callum Chambers, honestly, he didn't play that bad for Middlesbrough last season. He played most of their games at centre back in the Premier League. Yeah, they got relegated, but if the difference is he was only on loan, he was only there to get experience. Like he's good enough to be playing instead of having to play holding. Who else we had? We didn't have one like experienced centre back that we had Holding, Monreal, and who was the other one?
Holding Monreal
and Kolasinac.
Yeah, Kolasinac.
Really, we should have Kolasinac on the wings, like one of the wings, and we should have had Chambers in there because he can play in the Prem. Like he's played in the Prem. That's why it doesn't make sense to me to get rid of Gabriel because we're stuck in this situation. Yeah, he's injured now, but what are we going to do if Koscielny gets injured and Holding gets injured? We're going to be stuck with Mustafi. And then why get rid of a defender?
So that's actually, I think, a point I was going to bring up. Actually, it was actually the very next dot point. The Gabriel looks like he's on his way to Valencia for £10 million. For me, he's a player that frustrated the life out of me. I really didn't actually feel that safe with him at centre back. Or especially when he was playing out at right back, I think he gave the ball away. I remember that Watford game at home sticks out in my mind. I don't mind him leaving. However, if we're losing Callum Chambers and Gabriel, is there a possibility, do you believe, that Arsene is in the market for a centre back?
No. No.
Nah.
Arsenal and buying players that you really need them are far away. I'm surprised we got Lacazette. I'm just gonna be happy with that for now.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we're talking about Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're all talking about Virgil.
And he's never actually been linked to Arsenal once, which is ridiculous, but I've talked about him in every single episode of this podcast to date.
Virgil van Dijk.
Virgil van Dijk.
I don't want him. I don't care.
You know what's funny? I was watching
Raphael Varane. That's who I'll take.
Yeah.
Raphael Varane.
Oh, yes.
Virgil van Dijk, keep going.
Yeah. No, but actually, it was very interesting. It was very interesting because Neville and Carragher were talking about it they were analysing Liverpool-Watford. And Carragher basically said, we're looking at Matip and Lovren, and he's saying, basically, this is a system. If Virgil van Dijk was playing for Liverpool in the Matip or Lovren position, he would have still been staying in the exact same place because that's the system that Liverpool play, the zonal marking. So it wouldn't have made a difference. They still would have scored that goal at the end of the game. So the same thing, I think, goes for Arsenal. We also actually play a zonal marking. If he plays at Arsenal, I mean, however, I think the difference is now, if we're losing two centre-backs, we need to bring someone in. And we don't have many centre-backs in our youth academy, unless, of course, we call up Christian Bielik to play more. And I thought, actually, I was quite impressed with him when I watched him play in Australia.
I mean, that's a fair shout.
Yeah.
Bielik's a fair shout. Then again, I'd rather have Chambers in there, to be honest. I'd rather have Chambers.
I'd rather have the experience in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think Chambers... I don't know how many games he played for Middlesbrough, but every game I watched for Middlesbrough, which was honestly not less than 5, he was playing. So,
All right, guys, just a question. Who is better, Callum Chambers or Gabriel?
Gabriel.
All
right, Gabriel. I'll get him on a jersey, and that's something for me.
You got a Gabriel?
I'd actually go for Callum Chambers.
See, I'm with Roshan on that one.
Yeah.
I feel
the man
safe
drives
with
me
Gabriel
nuts.
back at the back.
I'll go for Gabriel only because he's just got that full nutcase about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if he's running at you, you don't know if he's going to try and get the ball or just smash her.
All right. One last thing on Arsene Wenger's press conference. The first thing is, by the way, that very interesting quote. They asked him if he's going to be busy in the summer. I mean, the last few weeks of the window, and he says, "Getting players out keeps you as busy as getting people in. So I think it will be busy." That to me sounds like we're not buying anybody; we're just selling players.
Pretty much.
Yep, agreed. I don't think we are.
And finally, guys,
Lamar,
I don't think we need Lamar. I don't think we need Lamar. If we keep Alexis Sanchez, what we need is a midfielder. We need Seri. And by the way, guys, if you didn't see the scores this morning, Napoli 2, Nice 0. So keeping my fingers crossed on that. Yeah, so there have been talks about the transfer window closing on the 31st of July before the season begins. And apparently, according to West Ham's ownership, 17 out of the 20 teams will be voting for the change. Guys, is this a good thing for the Premier League? Is this a bad thing for the Premier League? I've heard about possibly the other teams, so La Liga teams or Liga 1 teams or Serie A, Bundesliga. They might have an advantage over us because their window will end on August the 31st, and they can actually still take players from English teams we just can't buy. Ideally, would it be much better if everybody did the 31st of July and not just us, or is it a bit? Because it's something all managers to cry out for it.
Yeah, I thought it was across the board. I didn't realize it was just a Premier League thing, but no, they should do it on the 31st. It should just be that's it before the season. I can't think of any other sport where like the season starts, but the players aren't nailed down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I mean, it helps you prepare much early. It just means that teams will have to adapt. And then when the season starts, you have a full team. That's your team. That's who you got to go. If you're injured, mate, you should have bought extra players earlier on. That's it.
Yeah. Condense the time frame, get it done earlier, and I think too the thing is it distracts from the season. I mean, like we spent the majority of like the shows last week. We talked about the game for maybe 10 minutes, but the other 30 minutes was about who are we getting and who's going. It distracts from the start of the season.
Talk about the game yet?
I know.
But one thing I'll ask Bradley though, one thing that it does not change though, as I was reading more of the specifics on that, is that players can still leave to teams outside of the Premier League for the last month. So it doesn't stop things like the Coutinho possibly going from Liverpool to Barcelona, and therefore the Premier League teams can't replace those players when they go out. But
I would vote against that, to be honest.
I'd be against that. And the thing is, and I think that's the thing that will stop it from happening.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. Let's actually talk about football, guys. Stoke City last week played Everton. They lost 1-0 thanks to a monumentous Wayne Rooney goal. It's his first back for the Toffees in almost 10 years. And we go away to a ground where we haven't had much success in the future. The past. You guys confident going into the game against Stoke?
Not at all.
Hey, at least it's not a cold and rainy Wednesday night.
Well, that's it. For some reason, that's been our bogey ground for a number of years. I don't know what it is. It's just like we won that game last season.
It's everyone's bogey ground.
Yeah.
Though.
I don't know what it is about it, though. It's not like they're a phenomenal side.
Hey, they looked lost last week without Arnautovic.
Yeah.
Well, exactly.
They did buy a replacement for
West Ham looked lost with Arnautovic, to be honest.
We'll actually talk about Man United towards the end of the show because this is an Arsenal show. But they did replace Arnautovic this week with Jose Rodriguez.
That's a decent signing.
For anybody who knows who that is, he's a fucking good footballer. He played for Real Madrid and now he's on loan from PSG. We played him actually last year in the Champions League. I think he came on. Did he start in the games or did he come on as a substitute? But but he will be one to keep an eye on. I don't know if he plays for us this week. For them, jeez. What do you guys think?
I think going to Stoke traditionally in the past, the past few seasons anyway, we've been sort of more flamboyant rather than tough. But now we got players like Xhaka, players like Kolasinac. I think we got a really good chance to knock them back down.
Yeah.
I'm loving that. I'm loving the positivity from
it has been our bogey ground, but I mean, look at the players that we have now, and to be fair, I'm still pretty worried that Lacazette is still getting kicked around here and there. But he'll get used to it, man. I just want to see Kolasinac bash somebody. Just go for that tackle, man. Just two-footed. It's all right.
Yeah.
Ramsey finally goes to Stoke with a bodyguard.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's been our issue there, though, is that the reason it's been such a tough ground for us is because they play the player, not the ball. We're trying to play the ball, and their plan is, you know what, we can't beat them, in a footballing sense. We're just gonna have to body them out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we just haven't matched up.
In saying that, though.
Yeah.
Stoke does have it's Stoke has the most number of Champions League players in the team compared to any other team in the Premier League. Champions League winning players.
Jesus.
Wait, who are they? They're Rodriguez, Shaqiri. Did Shaqiri win that?
Yeah, they've got 5 players all up.
I think Bojan.
Bojan Barcelona.
Afellay also at Barcelona.
Yeah, I can't remember the last one.
Who's the last one? I'm trying to think. Who's in their team? Was it Kurt Zuma? Was he on the Chelsea team that won the Champions League or not yet?
Kurt Zuma. No, he wasn't in there yet, but Kurt Zuma is decent. We got to watch out for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Darren Fletcher. Darren Fletcher, guys. Manchester United.
That's it.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I'm telling you, we're going to watch out for all these guys, but I said it before. If there is a corner and if Peter Crouch goes in unmarked and he heads a goal, I will fully lose my shit.
Mate, Peter Crouch won't make it that far because Kolasinac will hit him in the ball.
He better. If they leave him unmarked and he scores a free header from a corner, I will do my nuts.
I want to see Kolasinac and Shawcross punch.
Yeah.
I just want to see the revenge of Aaron Ramsey. I want to see Aaron Ramsey break Ryan Shawcross's leg. See how happens. And then we'll boo Ryan Shawcross. Oh, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Dog.
That would I would actually love that. I'd probably cry. I'd like cry in laughter. That's gonna happen. All right, so who are the danger men for Stoke this weekend? Who do we need to watch out for?
Is Shaqiri fit? Because you never know.
Shaqiri is fit.
Yeah, Shaqiri, Zuma at the back. He likes to come up a bit, Zuma. He does. He likes to attack like Kolasinac did last week. But I watched a bit of the game last week, and Zuma was up a bit. He's good with his feet for a big guy. He's pretty good with his feet. Well, if Peter Crouch plays yet, definitely watch out for him.
Yeah.
Don't leave him unmarked.
What about Berahino though? Because you look at their 11 last week. It was Butland, Zuma, Shawcross, Cameron Diouf, Alan Fletcher, Peters, Shaqiri, Bojan, and Berahino.
That's another player you got to watch.
Peters. Yeah.
Peters.
But Berahino started last week for them. He switches to Crouch for this week?
Probably. Yeah, probably. Butland, he's good. Butland's good. Would you have Jack Butland at Arsenal next season?
I would. 100%.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
I would have preferred Jordan Pickford out of the two.
I would prefer Pickford, but Butland will do a solid job.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Man.
only reason Pickford looked good last season is because he had to save that many goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Well,
many shots coming in.
Butland didn't look good last season because he didn't really have a last season. So
Yeah, true.
Yeah, true.
But, actually, yeah, I'm surprised. Do you know who we should have picked up at if Ospina left? I know Ospina's not leaving now, but when he was possible he was going to leave, we should have picked up Begovic from Chelsea because he was
Yeah.
always solid for them. Just like
Hmm.
Caballero, Chelsea got Caballero, but yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
he's at Bournemouth now, Begovic, but then again, Boric was decent for them last season, so you wouldn't know who to pick out of them two either.
Yeah.
Honestly, Everton fans should be thanking the Lord that they got rid of Stekelenburg.
Yeah.
That guy's a disaster.
Yeah. For anybody who's a real football nerd like me, there is actually a goalie that I'm actually keeping an eye on for Arsenal, and I think this is the first time that his name will ever be brought up in an Arsenal podcast. His name is Geronimo Rulli. He plays for Real Sociedad in La Liga. He is the next Argentine #1. He's like the Argentinian version of Ederson. He is a freak of nature. He saves unbelievable shots. There was a game, if you would have watched La Liga last year, where they played against Real Madrid, and Cristiano Ronaldo literally threw a fit because it seemed like every single shot that he put at Rulli couldn't go in the net. So he's a guy who I have. I mean, it's a pipe dream, guys, because I have no idea if Arsene Wenger knows about him. But
Maybe you watch the podcast.
Yeah.
All right, guys. How do we beat Stoke City? I've seen that they're playing 3 at the back because I guess since Antonio Conte has joined the Premier League, it's now fashionable. So everybody's playing 3 at the back. What do we do? Do we play Giroud like we did last year?
No, man. Just same thing we're gonna do last game. We're gonna get Kolasinac. We're gonna bulldoze our way to the front.
Yeah.
That's all we're gonna do. Because even that assist where Kolasinac did, he pretty much just bulldozed his way. I think Giroud's doing a really good job being a super sub. I think he's obviously chosen to stay, so he's happy. He that must mean that he knows and supports Wenger's decisions and plans. So I'll be happy to just get the boys to run them down, and then second half Giroud come back and do the same thing all over again.
Yeah, that's a very good fair shot.
Yeah.
I've just remembered a lot of games we played against Stoke. Not last year, by the way. We were superb against them, but you could also argue they were on the beach. But I've seen games where Stoke start really fast and they're up 1-0 before I can even blink, or they're there and their fans go crazy.
Yeah.
I personally would start Giroud, and we'll get to our 1 to 11s in a second. I would personally would start Giroud because he's a physical presence at the start. I don't know if Danny Welbeck is really suited to playing in a game like Stoke.
Danny Welbeck.
I think Giroud's actually #1 more clinical, and he's just more physical. Like in the box, Stoke ever get a corner, you have Giroud in there as well as Mertesacker or Mustafi or Kolasinac.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're right.
I mean,
They've got to stop that Stoke early goal because that's been the ones that they get that momentum from that early goal every time we go down there, and we get that mental thing of like, here we go again. Even if they hold them out for 35 minutes, just don't let them score in the first 15.
Well, there are a few bastards in that team, such as Charlie Adam.
Yeah.
Charlie Adam, that lad.
Yeah, like that guy gets under my skin. I'm really excited to see Granit Xhaka battle against Charlie Adam because I don't think he'll be able to bully him. I remember Jack Wilshere actually. Was it Jack Wilshere? We played Stoke a couple years ago. Somebody got sent. Did he get sent? Somebody got sent off, and Jack Wilshere lost his shit at Charlie Adam.
Oh, that was that when they sent the wrong bloke off?
No, that's Chelsea.
No, that's Chelsea. That's Chelsea. No, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember who it was though.
Yeah, it was Charlie Adam.
Yeah.
Charlie Adam got
I'm
something
sure.
sent off. I think Charlie Adam put in some sort of dirty tackle, and then the person he tackled got sent off because I
I'm
think he
pretty
retaliated and shoved him or something. Was it Jack?
I'm pretty sure it was Jack Wilshere and Charlie Adam.
Yeah.
I don't think he got sent off,
You looking it up?
but I think he got it. Oh yeah, no. Sanchez.
That's it.
Sanchez, he clotheslined him. Remember, he grabbed him like that.
Yeah. Edmund
Okay,
headlock.
yeah. That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Ugh. Man, our Rebel at Stoke. Of course, this is the stadium where Aaron Ramsey broke his leg, we've touched on before. Guys, 1 to 11. I'm going to start with Bradley this time. I usually go with him last, but this time, who would you starting 11D for Stoke City?
So I'll probably have checking goals. Mustafi to be the centre back like of the three. I'd have Holding on one side and Monreal on the other. Kolasinac on the left side. I'd have Xhaka and Ramsey through the middle. And I'd have Ox on the right this time. Probably I'm a big fan of Bellerin, but I reckon Bellerin on the bench. Come on if we go like 2-0 up, put Bellerin on for Kolasinac maybe, or actually no, I probably wouldn't put him on for Kolasinac because Kolasinac is a defender, but I'd probably put him on for Ox. But then I'd probably put Ozil. No, Ozil and Lacazette as the two like. Actually no, Ozil and Iwobi and then Lacazette up top.
All right. How about you, Roshan?
I might the only one change I might make there is the right back. Actually, I wouldn't disagree too much with that choice. Maybe because I actually think Danny Welbeck played really good the last game, so I might actually put him instead of Iwobi.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll probably be the only difference for me.
All right. Troy?
Yeah. Again, based on Bradley's team, I'm the same. I'd probably stick with leave Welbeck on first for Iwobi, bring Iwobi on if needed. I'd probably go the other way with Ox. I'd probably give Bellerin a run first. I'm a Hector fan. And then maybe bring the Ox on as the sub. But other than that, same back line.
Yeah. Okay, the way I attacked it, you know my feelings on Giroud for this game. I would actually go with a similar lineup to what ended the Leicester game because I thought we were so good at the end of that game.
Hey, I would normally say Ramsey, get out of the team that I'm selecting.
Yeah.
But after that game, I think I'm liking Ramsey. The way he came on and he changed the way the team was playing. He gave the team a sense of let's get out and let's win this game.
Yeah.
And even when he was scoring goals in the 13th season, I was still get rid of Ramsey. I don't care, get rid of him. He's terrible. This is the only year that I thought to myself, maybe Aaron Ramsey got it. Maybe Aaron Ramsey's got this in him.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you. I'm the same with him. Ever since that cup final, there's something about him that's changed, and I think he's a lot better.
Have we ever talked about the Aaron Ramsey as an Arsenal legend theory?
No, I don't think we have.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go that far.
Not yet.
No. Listen, we're going to go 10 years from now, and we're going to remember Aaron Ramsey as the guy who scored the winner in the FA Cup final twice. He has to be an Arsenal legend. Ray Parlour is a player who, if I recall, was rated very similarly to Aaron Ramsey while he was playing for Arsenal. I think Aaron Ramsey is a poor man's Ray Parlour because I rated Ray Parlour highly. But he scored a goal against Chelsea in the FA Cup final, and he's an Arsenal legend. He wasn't the greatest ever central midfielder to play for Arsenal either. So
that's true.
But he wasn't an Arsenal legend because of that goal, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he's also an Arsenal legend because of his personality as well. Like,
Yeah.
he's a
Yeah.
great guy.
That's what I.
Yeah, and also the era that he was in. I think, like, I don't think Ramsey's a legend yet, but I think, I was the same. I was like last year, the year before. I'm like, you know what, turf him, get some money for him, and like get someone else. But he's changed.
I mean,
think,
for
and
me, I don't know what it's like for you, but for me, back in 2014 against Hull, when Aaron Ramsey scored the winning goal, that was the end. That was the first time I'd seen Arsenal win a trophy in 10 years, right? He delivered that moment. For me, Aaron Ramsey will always be my memory as an Arsenal player. And that, on its own, gives him a legacy at Arsenal. He'll never be forgotten.
no, I don't think he'll ever be forgotten. But I don't think you'll get a statue there anytime soon.
Anyway, back to my 1 to 11. So mine is Czech, Mustafi, Mertesacker, because I think, if they're technically going to go with Peter Crouch, I'm going to stick the BFG up in the middle. Monreal, I agree with you guys on Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, right wing back. Kolasinac, Xhaka, Ramsey, Ozil, and I've got Lacazette pairing Ozil in the Sanchez role. And as you guys all know, I have Giroud starting. I think Welbeck could be a good impact player. I think maybe Walcott could be a good impact player. I think if we're winning, as Bradley said, we can stick on Hector Bellerin. Or an El Neni could also shore things up. I think you can go backwards. I would love to do the opposite of last week, but we don't need to bring on players to salvage the game. We can bring on players to preserve the game. So, which I have a funny feeling that is the way it's going to go. Boys, we're about to wrap things up. But before we do, let's get a prediction from y'all. Actually, before we put the prediction out, last week we did these predictions. I was this close to 4-3. I said 4-3 or 3-2, and I was like, no, 2.
I know.
Do I get it last week, or are we gonna be like, nah, you went with 2-0, dude?
Nah, man, you're final.
Nah, you locked in the final answer.
I just think that we don't want you to get it right, man. That's all.
All right, Troy. Arsenal versus Stoke. How's this gonna end up?
I'm gonna be a tiny bit confident, and I'm gonna say we get out of there 2-0.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. Is that same thing? 2-0.
And I think. Sorry, I was going to say, I think Giroud will start. I think what they'll do, if he doesn't like being a super sub, I reckon Wenger will give him a start before Sanchez comes back.
I'm going to say, I don't think we can go to Stoke and not concede, so I'm going to say 3-2. I'm going to say 3-2.
Don't do this to me, Bradley.
I can't. Man.
I just came off a 4-3 thriller.
My heart can't handle this after last week, but I'm going to say it's going to be a comfortable 3-2 win.
It's actually kind of funny because Bradley's prediction makes no sense right now at this period of time.
It makes no sense, but when you thought about last week, I predicted 4-1 last week.
Yeah.
So,
well, you got the amount of goals right.
I got the 4. I didn't get the Reece Nielsen part, but hopefully this week, maybe.
Nah.
Did you see those 2 goals he scored?
I did see that again. The
He's a machine. He's a machine. He's crazy.
I saw the headline. It was like star prospect steers the spotlight from Jack Wilshere, and I'm like, it has to be Reece. So I logged on, I looked it up, and I saw Reece Nielsen. Oh, that was a fucking screamer of a goal. I'm so excited to watch Europa League. By the way, can I get any stick for wearing a Champions League thing? Yes, we were there for 20 years in a row. I can wear whatever the fucking shirt I want, okay?
No, that's fair enough.
I'm gonna buy a Europa League one just for the first year that we've actually been in.
If Alexis Sanchez stays,
The
I'm going to
world.
buy Europa League one with Alexis Sanchez on the back just for banter purposes.
Oh, you might want to throw it out next season, but it'll be that burn one.
Yeah.
You'll go viral because you burn that shirt. Burn that Europa League. Burn Sanchez if he leaves. Especially if it goes to City.
Getting a bit too far. If he goes to City, yeah, you got to burn it. No way.
Yeah.
Man, I'll be having a lot of burning because I've got 4 Alexis Sanchez shirts.
I haven't got one Ozil and I haven't got one Sanchez because the whole fact that I know they're probably going to break my heart one day.
Yeah, see, he was the first one I ever broke my rule for, Sanchez. I never bought shirts with names on it, and then I thought, no, you know what? I'm going to get his, and I bet you he'll be the one that goes out of the 3, and it'll be purely because I bought those shirts with his names on them.
The only player I have like a jersey with, like a consistent amount of jerseys with, is Wilshere. I've got 4 shirts with Wilshere on the back, and I'm waiting. I've not bought one shirt this season. I'm waiting to the 1st September. As soon as that transfer window's done, I'm pressing buy now on the jersey. For sure.
That's what I've been like with Alexis Sanchez. I'm like, I'm not going to buy a kit yet until Alexis Sanchez is here or not. If not, I'll buy a
10 shirt. If I seen any Arsenal player, like President Arsenal player in that number 10 shirt, I would cry. Get out of that shirt.
It's gonna be Ozil. If he stays on contract, I think
Ozil looks good in 11.
Ozil does look good in 11.
He does look good in it.
Like, I don't know what's his big thing about number 10, man. The whole number 10 thing doesn't even matter anymore.
He didn't even get number 10 for Germany. He spent the last couple of years with number 8.
The only jersey the player name I ever got was the only TH14.
Ah, yeah.
Good stuff.
See,
I
that's
don't
always
understand people who get like Henry and Lundberg and Perez on their current year's jersey.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
you gotta get the old versions with them.
It happens a lot, but it frustrates me. Like, I'm really fussy with that. Like,
Yeah, same here. It's like that wasn't a shirt he played in, mate.
Oh no! And do you know what else fusses me around? When people have like replicas of the jersey, it's like, geez, they're not hard to
Yeah, the
find,
Chinese versions.
Yeah.
like the one from Parkley Markets. It's like, oh my god. Right.
That's going to be my mission, actually, to find the worst replica shirt.
Hey, in where was it? Somewhere in the world. I can't remember where it is. I think it was Singapore. It literally has a logo and it says London Red. And it's got Alexis 17 on the back. And then
It's like Pez.
Oh, dude, I was just gonna say that. That's like Pez. That's what we were called before, London Red.
Yeah.
I think it's North London Red, but
Oh, good ties. Pez.
All right. Well, on that note, guys, I think it's time we end this show. I'd like to thank, of course, once again for all of you guys coming on. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to this page. Big game on the weekend. Isn't everyone a big game? Arsenal, don't let me down. Please, can we beat Stoke? Aaron Ramsey, do me one favor. Break Ryan Shawclaw's.
I'm going to say, I'm talking all this stuff about Aaron Ramsey. I guarantee next on the review show, I'll be hating that guy.
Guys,
I'm hating him.
Arsenal episode 3, Revenge of the Aaron. All right. On that note, guys, catch you guys next time. Up the
See you
Arsenal.
guys.
Come on,
See
you
you, gents.
guys.
Adios.
And as-